A mysterious quest notification flickers to life, demanding Dowan Ha become a man and satisfy a strange request, as if the sheer absurdity of the system's demands wasn't enough to make him wonder if it's all just a wild, feverish dream. Standing before him in his own home, the mysterious woman makes an outrageous demand. He is to take off his clothes, leaving Dowan Ha reeling, wondering how this situation escalated so suddenly. He hesitates, fumbling with his shirt as his heart hammers against his ribs, unable to shake the overwhelming thought, is this really happening for the very first time? The woman remains entirely unfazed, coolly asking him if he has any other clothes in his room, leaving a flustered Dowan Ha to stammer in response, "Yeah, huh? Clothes?" Dowan Ha is left bewildered, frantically clutching himself as he wonders why he is even half naked, while the woman bluntly tells him his house is too hot and orders him to turn the heater off, admitting she only found his address because she sought his apartment card while dragging him while he was passed out. Back in his room, Dowan Ha demands to know why she is even here without a call, and how she managed to find where he lives, only for her to dismiss his confusion by saying she didn't have his number. She calmly clarifies that she discovered his location only because she happened to see his apartment entrance card tucked away inside his phone case while he was unconscious. Sure enough, the card she retrieved clearly displays the information for the Bora apartment complex, a detail Dowan Ha had carelessly left visible. Surveying his simple wardrobe, she mockingly calls it a loser's collection, and though he tries to defend himself by noting his mom bought the shirts for him, he quickly tries to play it off by telling her it was a joke. With sweat beading on his skin, Dowan Ha swallows hard, realizing he feels cornered and forced to comply with her whims, his nerves frayed as he wonders, "I guess I have no choice, are we going to do it now?" The mysterious woman commands Dowan Ha to go shopping first. A system notification suddenly blares, triggering a quest. Boy becomes a man, with the directive that she wants to do it with him and he must accept to satisfy her. Dowan feels a mix of nervous adrenaline and bewilderment, whispering to himself, "I'm going to go shopping with a girl for the first time in my life." The pair arrives at a bustling commercial street, the cityscape looming over them as they begin their unusual outing. Inside the shop, the atmosphere is heavy with tension. The woman pauses, uttering a contemplative while Dowan stands before her, feeling completely out of his depth as he mutters and thinks, "I'm so confused." She eyes his current attire with disdain, questioning, "Do people actually go around dressed like this?" She then focuses on his arms, adding, "What's up with these fake tattoos?" "Yeah, it doesn't really suit you." Dowan, feeling self-conscious and annoyed, thinks, "This isn't the kind of shopping I was thinking of." The woman continues to press him, warning, "You're going to be with me all day, so you can't seem weak." Dowan looks down at his clothes, moping, "I'll probably look weak no matter what I wear." When he hesitantly asks, "All day?" she coldly responds, "Yes, there's somewhere I really want to go with you." She doesn't tolerate any resistance, declaring, "That's my wish, so don't talk back." She then thrusts a piece of clothing toward him, commanding, "Now try this." Dowan barely finds the breath to say, "Okay." She wanders through the aisles, scanning the racks of clothing for the perfect look to transform him. Dowan emerges in his new outfit, looking uncertain as he asks, what about this?" The woman eyes him up and down, offering a simple "not bad." Dowan stands stiffly, thinking to himself, "I've never tried on clothes like this before, it feels a little awkward." Dowan's eyes widen with sudden realization, stammering, "Really?" What a dash as a ding rings out from his interface, signaling the completion of the task. Dowan Ha realizes with a jolt, "Right, this was a quest." I got excited for a second. As his interface displays a new directive, chain quest, boy becomes a man, 2, ask her out to lunch. He wonders, are we moving on to the next quest? It all feels so much like a game that he doesn't even feel nervous talking to her. He blurts out, "I'm hungry. Wanna grab something to eat?" To which she replies, "I know a great place nearby," leading him to think, "Okay, I'm feeling pretty confident." As he processes his own eagerness, his internal monologue takes a sudden, sharp turn, "And now, I want to kill my past self for even thinking that." They sit in total silence, the tension heavy as Dowan thinks, "We haven't said a word to each other for 30 minutes. He glances at the menu boards listing blood sausage and beef stew, feeling his nerves rise as he gulps, wondering, does the food not suit her taste? They said that this place was really good on Matub. Dowan finally breaks the silence, stammering, I don't even know your name yet. She simply replies, Cian. He repeats it awkwardly, I see. Cian. What a pretty name. Ha ha. The interaction settles into a heavy, awkward silence, leaving Dowan to mentally lament, dang, I miss my mom. She looks at him, cool and detached, asking, anything else? Is there anything else you want to know? Dowan is caught completely off guard, responding with a bewildered, ha? Cian remains composed, her expression unreadable as she says, well, I know so little about you. I don't know where to start. She rises from her seat, leaving him with an enigmatic, you'll find out soon enough. We'll be seeing each other a lot from now on. As she walks away, she calls back, let's go. We still have a bit of time left. Dowan watches her go, still confused, muttering, often. What did she mean by that? A system window abruptly appears, presenting a new quest, boy becomes a man, 3 watch a movie with her. As he sits in the theater, Dowan can barely process the surreal turn of events, muttering to himself, I feel like I'm dreaming. The system continues its chain quest, pushing him toward the next objective, boy becomes a man, spend some time alone with her at a cafe. Sipping his drink, Dowan thinks, I'm happier than when I leveled up in real life. The notifications keep rolling in, manifesting the next step of the chain quest, boy becomes a man, 5 sing her a romantic song. He stands before the microphone, confused and frustrated, wondering, but why do these kinds of quests keep popping up? He questions the system's logic, thinking, wasn't the goal of this system to make me fight bullies, before the latest prompt flashes, chain quest, boy becomes a man, 6 show off your skills at an arcade. No matter how I think about it. This is a date. At the arcade, he unleashes a flurry of movements, landing 1,000 strikes with intensity. Bystanders are baffled, with one wondering, Nanny? What in the world are those movements I see, while another shouts, Sugoi, is this a new rising rookie in rhythm games? Dowan is completely in the zone, feeling that his rhythm is only complete with the panting of a passionate man. Huffing and puffing, he thinks, and I even had the chance to show off my charming self. This can't be more perfect. The arcade onlookers are stunned, one shouting, Oh me! Won't you join our guild, while another exclaims Sugoi as Dowan stares toward the crane machine labeled crane. Dowan stares blankly at the claw machine filled with plushies, his focus completely shifted from the date to the potential prizes inside. Abruptly, he shouts, Cian, wait a sec. I gotta go to the bathroom, leaving her bewildered. Hey, she calls out, but he is already rushing off, leaving her standing there with a questioning look. 10 minutes later, the focus remains entirely on the prize at hand, a blue anchovy plushie sitting in the machine. Dowan Ha, his arms overflowing with a pile of blue anchovy plushies, chuckles to himself, wondering if this haul will be enough to win her heart. He muses that if she gets so touched that she falls madly in love with him, things might actually get complicated, but he ignores the thought with a grin. Where did she go? He wonders aloud, his eyes scanning the arcade. Suddenly, he spots her across the aisle. There she is, he exclaims, relieved to have found her. He calls out, Cian, with a beaming smile, thinking to himself that this is really happening. But just as he approaches, a man grabs him by the hair, yanking him backward with a sudden, aggressive motion. He stands over the struggling Dowan, glowering down as he demands to know why he was calling for her. The attacker holds up one of the anchovy dolls, glaring at Dowan. Who are you, he sneers, and why are you calling out Cian's name like that? Dowan is pinned and frantic, yelping as his hair is pulled. Ah! My hair! My hair follicles! Hair loss, he screams as the attacker continues his grip. Suddenly, another voice erupts, demanding to know what the hell is going on. As the scene unfolds, onlookers gather around, baffled by the spectacle. One person asks what's up with all these anchovy dolls, while another looks at the restrained Dowan and scoffs, who's this loser? Who's this punk? Does he even know Cian? The attacker still keeps a firm grip on the situation, holding the fish doll while another witness murmurs that he feels like he's seen the guy before. Confused and under pressure, the attacker looks down at the prize, asking with genuine irritation, this is an anchovy? A woman speaks up, telling the man, Sihun Kong, let go. Nearby, others chime in with confusion, asking if the item is for them or if he's actually going to give it to them, while Dowan continues to tremble in his grasp. Sihun Kong finally lets go, and Dowan crashes to the floor as the pile of anchovy dolls scatters across the arcade floor. Sian watches the commotion, asking with a confused expression, "Oh, sorry. You two know each other?" Dowan Ha sits stunned on the arcade floor, surrounded by his scattered anchovy prizes. He realizes with a sinking feeling that he knew things were going suspiciously too smoothly. The man looming over him scoffs, declaring that he is only being treated this way because he didn't answer quickly enough. It looks like the trouble is starting all over again. As the man confronts him, Dowan can't help but think this is exactly the kind of situation where a system window usually pops up with a ding to offer him a quest to fight the bully. The man towers over him and demands, "So, who are you?" Before Dowan can even stutter out a reply, Sian steps in, calmly declaring, "He's my boyfriend." The absurdity of the statement leaves Dowan completely baffled. Dowan and the other bystanders stare at her in pure shock, unable to believe what they just heard. Sian remains unmoved, coldly telling the aggressor, "Really? Now if you heard me, will you get lost and stop interfering with our date?" Sian grabs Dowan's hand, firmly telling him, "Just ignore him." "Let's go, Dowan." As she pulls him away, she dismisses the man, adding, "We just live in the same neighborhood. He's not even my friend." Dowan desperately reaches back toward the floor, stuttering, "Wait. My anchovies," but Sian keeps dragging him along toward the exit. Nearby onlookers whisper in confusion, wondering who the girl is and if she really is Sian's boyfriend, murmuring how scary the whole situation is. They emerge outside, the sky painted in the burning colors of a late sunset as they approach the karaoke building. Dowan is still spinning from the ordeal, his mind reeling and dizzy as he mutters boyfriend to himself in disbelief. Sian stops and says, "We're here." Dowan looks around, still trying to process the boyfriend claim, and asks, where are, before trailing off in confusion. Dowan Ha stares at the building in shock, stammering, This is. Is this where I think it is?" Sian remains unfazed by his mounting anxiety, offering only a blunt "I dunno" before commanding him to stop overthinking and just follow her lead. As they stand before the Juan Motel, Sian presses him on his promise to spend the entire day with her. Suddenly, a system window pulses before Dowan's eyes. Chain quest, boy becomes a man, 7, this is the final destination of her wish. Go inside. Dowan watches the elevator buttons slide into view. As he considers the 7th floor, he thinks, it's clear that Sian is. He stares at the floor directory, realizing with mounting dread that they are going to the Juan Motel, which spans the upper levels. Sian, don't you think? He begins, trailing off as he contemplates the implications of their destination. Inside the elevator, Dowan's nervousness peaks. We're taking things a little too fast? We're still students that should be focusing on our studies, and most importantly, I don't feel ready, he rambles, only for Sian to interrupt with a calm, "Don't worry." She reassures him that he doesn't need to do a thing and that she will take care of everything. Really? You will? Dowan asks, his nerves fraying as the doors slide open. He thinks to himself, I can't give in. I have no choice but to persuade her inside. He hesitates on the threshold, wondering if he should describe his situation as taking a step forward only to take 2 steps back. But Sian. He mumbles, trying to find his footing. Dowan freezes, blinking in confusion at the sign posted on the directory. They're closed, he asks, reading the red "We're closed" note plastered over the motel listings. The sudden closure leaves him feeling bewildered and exposed. Why did you bring me? He asks, his voice betraying his lingering panic. As they step out, a clamor and murmur erupts from the people nearby, leaving Dowan wondering what sort of scene they've stumbled into. Dowan Ha stares at the banner in disbelief, his mind reeling as he reads 202X Gwanak District Iljan Gang General Assembly Meeting. The realization hits him hard, and he can only whisper to himself, what is this? A massive, tense crowd of delinquents fills the hall, their clamor and murmurs creating an overwhelming wall of sound as Dowan stands at the entrance, frozen in absolute shock. A sudden, sharp bang echoes through the room as a gavel strikes the wood. A voice commands, "Everyone please quiet down," immediately suppressing the chaotic noise. A young man steps to the podium, his expression cold and professional. He declares, "Will now begin the Gwanak District Iljan Gang General Assembly meeting." Clicking a remote to advance the presentation, the speaker continues with a menacing tone, "As I've already announced, first up on the agenda for today is the dangerous person that injured our members at school and at a karaoke." The screen displays a profile of Dowan Ha, and the leader announces, "We must decide whether to punish Dowan Ha, a junior at Shernan High School." The gathered thugs murmur among themselves, one sneering, "That's him? That's the punk that beat up several guys in a day? Ha, he looks like a total dweeb." Standing beside Sian, a sweat-drenched Dowan looks at her in a panic. Sian, what's this?" She ignores his plea, maintaining her composure as she tells the room, "Let's proceed swiftly. Those that think we should take action, raise your hands." Instantly, the room is filled with a forest of raised arms, the vote cast against him before he can even protest. As the leader confirms, "We have a unanimous vote," a system prompt dings to life before Dowan's eyes, initiating a new, ominous chain quest. Dowan Ha realizes with sinking dread that he has become the prime target of all 497 members of the Gwanak District Iljan Gang. As if the situation weren't already dire enough, his system chimes with a new, brutal notification, a chain quest titled "Boy Becomes a Man, Final," which taunts him with the notion that a true man should enjoy the thrill of risking his life in such a desperate situation and that his only objective is to somehow escape alive.